Our friends at Detroit Boxing Company are dedicated to providing high-quality boxing apparel. With fighters and fight fans in mind, their designs are unique and stylish. With their hats, shirts, hoodies, jackets, they are going to make your jab cross hook look even more sexy. They have great classic t-shirts that feature some of boxing's biggest legends. Tommy Hearns, James Tooney, Jimmy Paul, and more. The people behind this company are simply wonderful and they truly care about the boxing community. You have to check out their website at DetroitBoxingCompany.com and see the full catalog of all the great stuff they have available. Scoop up some fresh gear and just make sure you use the code word CoryCast at checkout and you're going to save yourself a little bit of money. Check out their Instagram page at Detroit Boxing Company and hit that follow button. Just let them know that Cory sent you. This episode of the podcast is very special to me because I convinced my own mother to do an episode with me. When I first asked her, she was a little hesitant because she was like, Cory, what are we going to talk about for a full hour? So I told her, I'll write down 10 questions to ask you. You write down 10 questions to ask me. And it was really great. I mean, our schedules are so busy between her being in Idaho, me being in New York, on top of me trying to handle toddler schedule. You know, it's really tough to really find time to talk for a whole hour. And it was just really nice just to chat more and learn more about her childhood, what it was like raising me and my sister Anna. And it was really cool because I got a whole new perspective. When you're younger, you really idolize your parents. And this conversation was just such a joy because really I got to know my mom a lot more and I got to hear a lot of cool stories from her. And the best part about this is when I have the episode and it's out and you guys are listening, I'll have this episode to cherish for the rest of my life. I learned a lot about my mom and how it was growing up, and it was just a really eye-opening conversation. If you're listening to this podcast, you should do yourself a favor. Call your mom, tell her you love her, and talk to her for an hour. Just ask her a bunch of questions of what her childhood was like. What was it like when she was raising you as a toddler or as a kid? Because you're going to get immense value out of that conversation. I know I did when I talked to my mom, and the podcast really showcases how just genuine she is and how like just there and supportive she was for me and my sister. I can thank my mom for being at every single one of my soccer games, taking me to all my basketball events and open gyms, and she has been one of my most supportive people in my life, and I'm very thankful for that. This conversation just gave me a whole new perspective on our relationship. So, call your mother, tell her you love her, have a long conversation with her, and I promise you will be thankful for it. I hope you enjoy this very special episode of the Cory Cast with my mom, Estelle. I have my mom on the podcast. This is good. This is funny. I had dad on the podcast, but we're doing something a little different because you, mom, were like, what are we going to talk about? And I was like, why don't we just write down questions and we'll ask questions back and forth.
Right.
So I have the most, so I'll start first. So
Okay.
Question 1, Mom, what did I do that gave you the most gray hairs?
No, for the love of God. Everything.
You can't say everything. That's cheating.
Everything gave me gray hairs. No, I can't say that. You gave me gray hairs. You were actually, I thought, a pretty decent kid. You didn't get into a heck of a whole lot of trouble. I think that one time I remember, I think you were probably about Ashton's age, 2.5, maybe 3, maybe even 4. We didn't live in the house yet. We were still living in an apartment. And we had this huge armoire. I don't know what you want to call entertainment center. Where the TV was, the stereo, VCRs and everything. And down below was a little compartment where you would put your video cassettes, right? Because we didn't have DVDs just yet.
All right.
Put all put all your VHS tapes in there, and the door would actually slide back and forth, right? We were playing hide and seek once. That's where you hid, is you hid in there. Slid the door all the way to the side. I could not find you.
I didn't even say a word. I was just like in the cabinet hiding.
I was losing my mind. I'm going, oh my God, I was here left alone with my child and he disappeared. I have no idea where he went. And of course, you're playing hide and seek to the T. Cory, where are you?
Crickets. I'm not giving up my position. I played to win hide and seek.
I know you played to win. You were serious about this game.
That's so
and
funny.
Like, Cory, where are you? I cannot find. Seriously, where are you? I'm in here. I'm in here. This tiny little voice pops up.
Just giving you guys a straight panic attack.
Oh my gosh. And I literally, I had a hard time sliding the door because you were so squished in there. I thought I was going to break the sliding door to get you out. Oh my gosh.
Like, this thing costs a fortune. Now Cory's ass is stuck in this stupid thing.
No one's going to believe me if I have to call 911.
Oh, that's so funny. That gave you the most gray hairs.
No, there was another incident. And you might remember this. When you got hit in the head with that pool toy.
Yep.
Remember?
That's all you had to say was hit in the head. The only time I got, I think, really seriously injured.
That was the only time you action.
Like a tiny little cut on my head. Like, I still have the scar.
Yeah, you still have the scar. If you shave your head really close, you can still see the scar. Yep. Mm-hmm. The thing was, it might have been small, but it was deep.
Yeah.
It was a deep cut. Yep. And I'll never forget either. Because I had to call your father because your father was at your grandmother and grandfather's house with Anna at the pool. And I called your grandfather's house, your grandmother's house, and told them what happened. And they told your dad, who flew in his car, like, I don't know, probably yanked your sister out of the pool. Yeah. We're out. We're done.
Yep.
And I immediately I don't know, do you remember the car ride?
I remember, I still remember the kid's name. His name was Joey. We were swimming at Joey's house. And
yeah, you were at his house. And his mother just nonchalantly, oh, yeah, your son's injured. Yeah.
Yeah, it honestly didn't, it wasn't like so terrible. Like, to me, it didn't feel terrible because, like, we were just like, you know, being boys, like, we had like water bombs and we were like throwing the water toys at each other. But I remember he had it was a fish that kept the pool warm. It was like a plastic fish with like
with metal in it.
The metal weight on the bottom. And he threw it like a frisbee and it hit me and I laughed and then I went underwater and I was like, oh, you can't hit me. And then I like went underwater. And then when I popped out, he was like, dude, there is so much blood coming from your head. And I was like, what? What do you mean? And then I saw it and I just immediately started panicking. I think his mom was like a nurse, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, she did. She said, oh, I'm a nurse, but I think he's going to be okay, but you might want to take him to the emergency room. But she can't, she was just walking nonchalantly down the street with you. And I'm like, what's happening? What's going on?
As I'm like holding the side of my head.
I know.
Two staples in my head.
Yep. And I can remember you sitting in the passenger seat. Mom, is it going to hurt? And I'm like, son, I ain't going to lie to you. I have no idea what's going on right now.
Yeah.
But I'm sure it's going to hurt later.
Yeah. Yeah, you guys freaking lied to me and told me there wasn't going to be any needles or anything. As they were jamming a needle into the wound for Novocaine or whatever it was, so I don't feel anything.
Yeah. And remember your grandfather and your grandmother got so worried.
They came to the hospital. Yep.
Remember, this is all pre-COVID, so everybody was allowed in the emergency room.
Yeah, I had to be at least like 12, 13. Like, I feel like I was probably like maybe even younger, to be honest. But
could have been.
Yeah, that was okay. Well, that's fair enough. That's enough gray hairs.
Yeah.
I can't imagine.
those times you play soccer and you hurt your ankles.
Yep. Yep. That was the other injury. But at least I never like went out and partied a lot. I stayed out of
No,
trouble for the most part. It was just
no.
me getting injured.
You were mostly into the video game thing, sitting in front of the video component console and doing your
Still
things.
am.
Yeah.
Keeps me out of trouble.
Right? Right? And that leads to one of my questions.
Yeah, what is it? What it was?
Your D&D charity thing.
Oh yeah.
How did you guys come up with that? I mean, that's a pretty brilliant idea.
We were playing Dungeons and Dragons when COVID started because
Mhm.
Dennis was like, "Hey man, I'm not doing jujitsu anymore. We can't do
Mhm.
anything. I'm going crazy. Do you guys want to play Dungeons and Dragons?" And Mike and I were
Right.
like, "Yeah, we played like 8 years ago. Yeah, why not? That'd be fun to relearn how to play that
Mhm.
game." And we played for I don't know, like 3-4 months. And honestly, I just wanted to do like a podcast. Like some people were recording their D&Ds and then
Yeah.
editing it into like a listenable podcast form where you know you cut out all the junk. And
Mhm.
Dennis and Mike weren't totally sold on it yet because you know we're still learning how to play the game and we were still figuring things out.
Yep.
And then somebody at Taikai who was into tabletop role playing games,
Yep.
not only Dungeons and Dragons but a lot of others. He he killed himself, and we
Oh my
wanted to
gosh.
do something for him. Like I wasn't too like super close to him, but Dennis was like mostly close with
Mhm.
him, and he was a great guy. And we were like humming and hawing, and we were kind of like thinking about what we would do for him, and then we just never like put ink to paper. Like we just had this
Yeah.
idea and it never came to fruition. And then just a few months down the road we were like why don't we do so well, we had the idea to do like a tie-in to a benefit for him, but
Yeah.
we could just never get the details together. We never got the dates together. And then we were like, well, let's do like it was a cool idea. Why not just do it and see what happens? And we'll just do it for like a different charity. We'll do it for like we'll do it for a local charity because we felt like we would get a little bit
Mhm.
more tie-in. And then
Right.
the rest is history. We just did one, and then we're like, should we do it every 6 months? Should we do it once a year? And we're like, well, let's do it twice a year. And then if we get burned
Right.
out or if we don't like it, we'll just go back to one time a year. So it
Right.
was like a way to, I don't know. I mean, we just love playing Dungeons and Dragons so much. It was like a cool excuse to play while
Right.
also kind of like making a better impact in the community. Like it really
I
felt like when
agree.
we did the food bank, a lot of people felt like the money was going further rather than just like I don't
Mhm.
know, like a national
Right.
organization.
I think that's great.
Yeah, it's fun. I just like it's just so cool to like not only play D&D but also like find a unique fundraising
Right.
way for
And now
charities.
that you guys should do one around, well, you are doing another one real soon, right?
Yeah,
Which
we do
one?
them twice a year, one in November, which I think will always the food bank will always be the anchor one in November.
Can I
And then
suggest another one?
yeah, which one?
Toys for Tots
Yeah, Toys for Tots is another.
at
In Toys for
Christmas?
Tots, you could tie in with the game itself, you know, because you could get like starter kits and stuff
Yeah.
to the Toys for Tots. And that like that wouldn't be a bad idea. We could throw it on the list for like usually April, May. We let people vote. Vera House
Right.
has won the last two votes. I don't know if they're gonna.
Right.
I don't know if we'll do them again after all the
Controversy?
yeah, that's going on with
Yeah.
them. That's
Yeah.
still to be decided, but it sounds like this November. We don't have a date set, but we're definitely going to be doing for the food
Yeah.
bank at
And
least.
you got the rescue mission you can do, Salvation Army,
Yeah, and
especially around Christmas.
that's the thing is there's so many like good
Yeah.
organizations, and it's like, man, where do we want to put like our efforts towards?
Oh,
Food
and the
just
Red
seemed like a
Cross. Red
yeah,
Cross?
Red Cross is another good one too.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, it's cool and it's also you know, kind of fulfilling. It's kind of cool.
Well, I like it. I think that's great that you guys are doing something not only a game that you guys love to play, but you're sharing it with others and you're doing it for a charity.
Yeah, we don't none of it's for profit. I don't think I've really said this to anybody other than Dennis and Mike, but I eat the cost when so like we do a PayPal pool, and
Oh,
then when you take the money from the PayPal pool,
mhm.
PayPal will take like a certain percent,
Of
or
course,
if
yeah.
it's either that or when I go to donate at the CNY food bank,
Mhm.
there's certain administrator there's like a 6% administrator cost or something like that. So I
Oh,
I donate, that's my portion that I donate, just so
mm,
it's full board. Every dollar that's donated goes directly to it. It's not like all the money minus 6%. Like I want people to know that
yeah.
it's everything that they donate goes right to that. And
Alright.
that's important to us. But that's I don't know, it's just so much fun. I don't know. It's cool.
Does PayPal make does I don't know, does PayPal have something that will prevent them from doing that if you let them know it's going to charity?
Yeah, and I think the issue with it was like that it was not the food bank's like not registered with PayPal. There
Mm,
was like some weird like thing, so I was like,
ah,
here's my
okay,
workaround for it. And it's
I
not the end
see.
of the world. I'm thinking the next few we're gonna figure out a different way to collect donations. Not that PayPal's been bad, just trying
Right.
to figure out a different thing that maybe we can use. PayPal's also like very open. Like if you open up the pool, you can see
Mhm.
a list of everybody who's donated and for what amount. So
Right,
we like
right,
that kind of transparency too, because people can see everybody that's chipped in for it.
right. Sweet. That's good.
Um, okay,
Do you have
mom, what
anything
is
for me?
something you've always wanted to do but
Mhm.
haven't?
Something I always wanted to do but haven't. Well, as you know, we've been to Europe, but only to Portugal,
Right.
and I've told Blaine this too. A trip to, like, Greece. I mean, you've been there, right?
Yeah, Greece is sick. I wish we were just there longer. It's a beautiful place.
Yeah, yeah. Something that we just haven't done, everybody does Italy, everybody does France. Yeah, everybody does Greece, right? It's one of the most popular places to go.
But there's tons of cool places in Greece you could go to.
Oh, yeah. It's just beautiful. I also thought about Hawaii,
Yep. Hawaii
but
seems to be the spot.
yeah, but I've been hearing not so cool things about Hawaii lately, which is
Mm,
sad.
yeah. Well, I mean, you could go to Greece and then feel like the tiniest speck of dust when you realize how old those buildings are.
Right?
Timeline in comparison to you. You're like, I'm
And they're giant, right?
yeah, right. You're like, these things have been standing for thousands of years. It's like Jesus. And I'm
How the hell did that
31 years old. Like just a blink, a grain of sand in
right?
how old these things are is pretty crazy. Then even for the time, they were really smart. One of the things that I learned when we was in Greece, when we went to the Acropolis,
Yeah.
those columns that they build, it
Mhm.
actually starts off like really fat, and as it gets to the top, it starts to narrow. And the
Oh,
ancient Greeks did that because it gives you a visual effect that it goes taller than it is.
oh, really?
Yeah, and it's true. When you stand up, you're like, "Oh my god, how tall is that?" And they're like, "No, it's only 20 feet in the air." You're like, "What? Are you sure? That seems like it's gonna touch the sky." But it gets narrower and narrower to the top.
Oh,
It also kind of improves the stability of it.
right, right.
So you think a trip
Uh,
to Greece is next?
yeah, I think I would like a trip to Greece. That would be great. But we're also talking about going somewhere where, like, the sun's always shining.
Mm,
Some nice sand, toss up between, like, Jamaica, St. Croix,
right.
Bahamas.
Where the sun is always shining, you put your feet in the sand, right?
Yeah.
Do you think next
Hey,
year, 2 years from now,
maybe next year.
next
'Cause
year,
you wanna go when obviously it's not super, super hot or too cold, and you don't wanna go, like, now because they got hurricane season.
right?
right? All the hurricanes are hitting that area right now.
Yeah, get me
So
out of there. I'm not trying to do no
yeah,
hurricane season.
so we're still teetering or talking about it. But Greece, yeah, I think that would be my ultimate trip right there for
Yeah,
sure.
that place is beautiful.
Yep. How about you? What was your favorite vacation, and would you go back?
I mean, I think the oh man, I don't. I was gonna say I feel like the obvious is like Portugal, but only like because
Mm-hmm.
it was like a cool family trip. Grandpa was there, grandma was there. I was old enough to remember. I feel like we created a lot of cool memories while we were
Oh
there.
yeah.
But then, like on the other side, I'm like, but Brittany and I's honeymoon was a lot of fun because we saw so many countries. So it was like boom, boom,
Mm-hmm.
boom, boom, which was cool. So I don't know. Like I would really love to go back to Portugal, but
Mm-hmm.
like with Brittany or like
With
maybe
Ashton.
with like Uncle Mario and all their kids. Like I feel like if it was like a bigger trip with other
Yeah.
family members, I think that would be cool too. And maybe see some parts of Portugal we haven't seen. Like we stayed
Right.
in Lisbon, so maybe
Right.
um those islands. I always forget the islands.
The Azores.
The Azores. I was gonna call it something completely different.
Mm-hmm.
My manager went there and she said it was beautiful there. I would like to go like maybe a different part of Portugal to see
Right.
like what the food is and what the culture is like there.
Yep. Yep.
But I don't know. I think Portugal just tops it for me.
Oh,
I don't
good.
know. I don't know because we were there for a long time, and also too, it was just very special to me that Grandpa was there too. But I
Yeah.
mean, I don't know. The honeymoon was so much fun.
It
I
was
don't know,
great. It was a great time. It really was.
well, what when you were growing up, when you were like watching Grandma and Grandpa like
Mm-hmm.
parent you, was there like one thing you swore you would never do as a parent that they did? That you're like, Dad doesn't let me watch TV after 9. I swear I'm never gonna do that.
I
Not
don't
that
know. I
Grandpa would
can't
have ever
remember
done that.
anything. Can't remember anything specific. I mean, I'm pretty sure I kept your grandparents on their toes. Pretty sure about that.
Right.
I
I'll
mean,
say for me, like we I swear I would never limit TV time. Right? When you're younger, you're like, I'm never
yep,
adults
eight
don't know
thirty,
nothing. But
8:30 done.
Ashton turns into a different human when he has more than 45 minutes of screen time. When he gets anything more than that, he turns into a gremlin the rest of the day. Just because there's just so much stimulation. And I said I would never be that parent who's going to limit screen time. But right
Right.
now it's looking like that.
It's just for your own state of mind,
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Exactly.
right?
Yeah, 100%.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Oh yeah, what was the best thing that you learned from grandma?
From your grandparents, I've learned to work very hard.
Yep.
You work hard, you get paid, do your job. They had a very strong work ethic. It's something that's lacking nowadays with people. From what I see, I see a
I
lot
heard
of.
there's a big UFC fighter. His name
Mhm.
is escaping me. But one of the commentators always talks about oh no, it's a comedian. Uh Joey Diaz. He's a Italian. He always talks about he's got that immigrant mentality, that hard
Yeah.
work horse
Yes.
mentality. And
Yes.
that saying I love because the second he said immigrant mentality, I thought of grandpa because he was just
It's true.
showed up to work every single day, then
Did his
side
job.
hustled in his garage, building things for side projects and second projects.
Right. Right. If anything, that's what they instilled in me. Working
Yeah.
hard. Get your bills
Yeah.
paid, take care of your kids, take care of your family.
Yeah, I would say that's on par for both of them. Grandma's the quiet, unsuspecting one, because she like grandma wasn't like job focused. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like grandma definitely took her job seriously, but for
Yep.
grandpa it was like a second hobby. Like it was his like like woodworking was his like craft. You know what I mean?
That's it. Yeah, he was a craftsman. He was a
Yeah, yeah,
craftsman at his job. And he
right.
was doing that when he was 15, since he was
Yeah,
15.
yeah. I think we got a picture of it somewhere of him with his little beret on at
Yeah,
the.
little hat, probably by like a table saw, right?
Yep,
If it's the same picture I'm thinking of. Yep.
yep,
He was
yeah,
he was in his teens in that picture.
yeah.
Absolutely.
It's crazy that he completely devoted his life to one craft, but
Mhm.
you don't see like you just don't see that very often. Like that was his thing.
Yeah.
Like it was woodworking, and he sought after it time and time again. I mean, geez, how talented was he? Huh? Jesus.
Yeah. And you got some pieces he made for you, right?
Yeah, a lot of the furniture in my house was made from grandpa, I think, with the exception of like our TV stand, because we wanted
Yeah.
a like an electric fireplace in one. So, but
Yeah.
my end table is there's
Mhm.
our mail table,
Okay.
our dining room table, the giant hexagon
Yep.
table. He
Yep.
made that from bamboo.
Yep.
Um, I want to say I even have one of the stools he made. Remember he had this thing where he like banged out like 20 stools
Yeah.
in a
That
week
was
and
super
everybody
easy
got a
for him.
stool.
Yeah. That was super easy stuff for him to do.
Right,
Oh,
right,
yeah.
because he could do it quick.
Oh, yeah.
Um, yeah, I think that's all I have built from him.
Mhm. I think Anna has a couple pieces too.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty sure she does. She does too.
Yeah.
I think it's your turn for a question
My
now.
turn? Okay. I like this question. I usually ask people this question. If intro music played when you walked into a room, what would it be?
Mm. I would say Queen Having a Good Time. I love how upbeat that song is, and when I
Mhm.
listen to that song, I am ready to run a marathon. I put that song at max volume, and I am in a different headspace. But, like, for, like, my kickboxing fights, I came out to something completely different. It was, Sean James and the Shapeshifters. That's the band name, which is, like, the most badass band name ever. But it was like a hardcore, like dun 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 dun, and I had like a little
Uh-huh.
banjo.
Oh, no. A little
I
bit
could
of
still hear it,
deliverance in there.
but I'm like, I'm not walking out to a fight every day, right? We're talking just like I'm walking into a buyer presentation. I'm ready
Uh-huh.
to start talking to a client. Can't stop me now. I'm having such a good time because then when everybody else hears it, they're in a good mood too. You know,
Right. Right.
when you were growing, I remember specifically your Corsica and Def
Yeah.
Leppard cassette tapes
Oh my gosh. Yep.
in the car. Was that what was one of your favorite albums
Def Leppard.
ever? Is that Def Leppard was one of your favorites, right?
I have many favorites. I mean, the 80s was just killer with music. It was just
Well, you
good.
particularly like those big hair bands, right?
Yes.
Like Def Leppard, and I'm trying to think there was a couple of others.
Def Leppard, Bon Jovi,
Yep, yep.
Poison, Brett
Can't believe I
Michaels.
forgot Bonjo. Yeah, Brett Michaels, Rock of Love. Jesus, I think we watched
I
every
know.
single one of those shows with you. Mom was like, "But I love my Brett Michaels."
I love Brett Michaels. I love Brett Michaels. He's so crazy. I saw Def Leppard in concert. You know that.
Yeah, yep. I remember you were sending
They
me the
were
picture.
killer.
So when you
Um,
pop in a Poison cassette tape into your Corsica, what does it bring back a certain memory? Because there's some music that triggers like memories for me.
Not a certain memory. It's just some songs do.
Hmm.
Some songs do. It just takes me to a time I'm 15, 16 years old. Life is good, right? I'm not paying bills.
Yeah, yeah,
I haven't taken on any adult responsibilities, and all I literally had to do was go to school, learn whatever lessons, do homework, and wash, rinse, repeat.
yeah,
Right? It was a simpler time. It was for me. It was a great time. But
yeah.
then you have the songs that might spark a memory, like of Paula and I. You remember Paula?
Yeah, I ran into her at Wegmans the other day, actually. She lost
She's changed.
so much weight, I hardly recognized her when I ran into her.
She looks great. She looks
Yeah.
great. I remember times when Paula and I would go roller skating on a Saturday night.
Yeah, roller skating.
Yeah, the music that they played then. I mean, I could hear, oh, who did it? I hope I say it right. Grandmaster Flash, White Lines.
Okay. It makes you think of like the roller rink.
Yeah, because when songs like that came on, the floor would just be packed with people.
Yeah.
And then you got the guys and the girls that were just phenomenal on their roller skates, dancing and bopping around and doing all these crazy things. And you just stare at them like, how do you do that again?
Yeah, my mom, I love you to pieces, but I can never see you being one of those roller skating backwards people and then
I do.
And then forward spin. I couldn't see you having the coordination to do that.
No, Paula and I would go roller skating every Saturday night. Your grandfather would drop us off around 7 o'clock-ish, I want to say, because that's when the doors would open up. We'd get in, put our skates on, and we would be there till about 11 o'clock at night.
Wow.
And that's when your grandfather would pick us up, take Paula home, take me home. I'm out.
Yeah.
It was fun. It was good times.
I can't remember. I feel like you have told me, but what was your first job? Were you working at that time when you were in high school?
Yes.
What were you doing? I feel like you've told me.
My first job, and it's still there. It was James Square Nursing Home.
Oh, nursing home.
It's the one on James Street.
Mm-hmm.
Your great-grandmother was there for a short time, but I think it was under another name.
Oh, gotcha. So that was your first job. Were you working there while you were going to the roller rink?
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably. And that job was just pretty much working in the kitchen. When the seniors came downstairs to the dining room to have their dinner, I would take their trays because they all had special meals because of their special diets.
Mm-hmm.
And I would just take their trays and bring it over to their table.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, John, here's your meal for the day. Here, Larry, here's your meal. Mary.
Right.
Then when they're done, clear off the table. And most of them were in wheelchairs. And we would take them back up to their floors.
Yeah.
Where we would hand them off to a nurse.
I feel like now that you reminded me, I totally remember you telling me this, that was your first gig. Was to go back to the rollerblading thing, would you say that was like your favorite memory as a kid?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. The Friday nights with Paula?
Saturday nights.
Is
Yeah,
that where Saturday Night Fever came from? Is because everybody had the fever to go rollerblading?
I don't. It was the thing to do, and then it just died off. No one roller skates anymore. And last time I heard, that building actually got knocked down about
Mattydale,
6
right?
6 years ago, maybe. Yeah,
it got knocked down. And I want to say it's still empty. I feel like I know I've driven past it recently because I know I've showed a house in Mattydale in the past couple of weeks, but I can't place if there's something on that lot or if it's still for sale. But I remember when we were younger, you took us there a couple times to go.
Yes, I did.
Yep.
I did. They had stuff for families to come in during the day and go roller skating. Yep. And your grandfather at one time, I don't know if he did it with when Paul and I were still going, he actually put on roller skates.
Oh my God!
He taught me how to roller skate.
Really? I would have paid to be okay. So if you tell me, Cory, you have a time machine, you can jump back wherever. I want to jump back to when Grandpa's teaching you how to rollerblade.
Yep. Yep. And he will tell you the story. And maybe one of your my uncles, I'm sure Rosario, could probably back this story up, because I don't know if he was involved in this story or not, but I remember a story your grandfather told me that when he was younger, much younger, like 10, maybe 9 or 10. You remember metal roller skates, right?
Oh yeah.
Right? They just like kind of wrap around your shoe
Hmm.
with a little
They had
strap.
like straps to put your shoe into.
Yeah, and you have to like buckle your ankle in and stuff, right? Those were their roller skates. Your grandfather and both of his brothers, or one of them, for some reason your grandfather remembered this. They would hold on to like the trolleys
Oh yeah.
or the buses or whatever, taxis maybe even, like hold on to the bumper and ride it all the way down the street.
That's so funny.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's probably where you got your mischievousness from.
Was from him. That's funny.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
Wow, that's so funny. Who would have thought? I never would have thought Grandpa was a rollerblader. But that I
Yeah.
guess that really explains why that dude had freaking honeydews for calves. His calves were jacked. I remember him being jacked in his calves. I'm gonna have no idea why his calves were so
I know, right?
muscular. Mom, what was your dream job?
What would be my dream job?
Yeah. You can do
I
whatever
could
you
tell
want.
you
You can snap your finger, no training, nothing, boom, off to the races.
it would not be the president of the United States. It would be nothing to do with politics. Absolutely not.
Yeah, no
That just would
thanks.
hurt my head. That would hurt
Yeah,
my head.
no thanks.
I don't know. I guess the perfect job would be, if I could have any job, maybe taking care of kids, not like a whole buttload of kids, right?
Mhm.
Like preschool where you got like 12, 20 kids
Right,
running around, and they all would
right,
have to be under the age of 5 or yeah, 6 or 5,
right,
because
right.
I think that's the age where they're more in tune to what's going on around them. They want to learn everything. Their minds are like sponges,
Oh yeah, right. Yeah.
right? Yeah, you get kids like Ashton. Yes, they're going to throw their tantrums, right?
Going through it hardcore right now.
Oh, I'm sure he's testing you.
Yeah, he's in a cool stage right now where he likes to take something
Hmm.
and look you in the eye as he pulls his hand back as he's gonna throw it, like it's a threat, and he'll stare at you like this and then just wait. And if you get close to him, he'll go whoosh, and chuck it at your face. Yeah, great time.
Oh,
It's a great time.
ooh,
We're trying. It's like what do you do?
wow.
You know what I did to him the other day, Mom? He has a like somebody got him these like plastic magnet things you can build with. They're like
Okay.
squares and you can like build cool buildings with.
Oh,
They're light.
sweet.
They're just like a little plastic with like 6 magnets in them to click together. He was
Hmm.
like building it and he wanted me to build him a garage for his toy car. So I
Of course.
made a little garage, put a little roof
Hmm.
on, and he was mad that it wasn't a red roof or something, and he smacked it down, crushed it. So I was like, okay, all right, well, I'll let you play. If you want to play and build by
Hmm.
yourself, I'll give you some alone time. And he took one of them and he threw it at my face like a frisbee. So I just immediately got up and I walked away into the other room. This kid, I'm thinking like if I walk away, he'll just like sit down and he'll stew in his anger for a little bit. This little shit follows me and chucks them more at my back as I'm walking away. Like he had like a deck of cards he was whipping at the back of my head. By the third one that hit my back, I turned around and I was like, buddy, we got to do something more constructive with our anger, okay? We can't be throwing them at us. And then he likes quiet time. So he'll go, quiet time. And he goes races off into his room. And I'm like, all right, if I acknowledge it, it'll get worse. Right? If I tell him no, he'll just do it because he knows it gets a reaction on me. So I get up and I give him no reaction. What's this kid do? Whap, whap, whap. Like, God damn this kid.
Now, this is your grandfather.
Oh.
he would be getting the wooden spoon. I'll show you
Yeah,
how to
right.
chuck something. I'll show you how to chuck that. Go ahead, chuck it
Ye
at me.
Yeah, right, right. What do you think, like, is the biggest difference now that you're a grandparent
Mhm.
versus being a parent? How has that changed your perspective on things? Or maybe it hasn't, I don't
Well, it does make you feel a little bit older, I'm not gonna lie.
know.
Not gonna lie. But I think I like it because I can see you grow as I mean, you're already an adult, right? But this
Hardly.
is a different area of being an adult,
Mm, for sure.
right? Because I know when I became a parent, I'm like, oh, damn, now I'm responsible for this kid. I
Yeah.
got to make sure he makes it out alive.
Was that your thoughts when I was born? Like, when I was born and you were holding me
Mhm.
in the hospital, you were like, "Oh, shit, this is real now."
This is for real. This is for
Yeah.
people they're always saying, oh, it's going to be great and it's going to be wonderful, and it is, But I don't think there's anything that will could ever prepare you
Mhm.
for your firstborn.
Yeah. No,
Nothing.
that's yeah, yeah,
Nothing.
for sure.
I
It's
could tell you.
especially, like, talking to people and trying to, like, learn what the right like, there's nothing that really preps you.
Mhm.
It's like I was telling Brittany I have, like, some of the hardest days where I feel like my patience is tested beyond limits, right? Because he's, like,
Now
learning
so,
about his
right?
emotions. What's that?
Now because he's like 2 years old, he's in those terrible
Yeah,
tubes. Well, he's
right.
gonna be testing every limit possible.
Right. But then, like, we had a moment today after his bath. I'm drying him up and he goes, "Daddy, hug." And I give him a hug and he just kisses me on the cheek. So it's like, oh, God, you're adorable. And I love it. Jesus. Just want to
But you
pinch
make
your
me so
cheeks.
mad sometimes.
You make me so mad, but God damn it, you're adorable. What was it like? What was the day like when I was born? That actually leads us to one of the questions I had.
It was exhausting day.
How long were you in labor for?
Let's see. I went into labor 11:30 at night the day before, and you were born 3 o'clock or 3:30 in the afternoon the following day. It was quite some time. I remember as soon as you were born, you got cleaned up, and we were back in the room. We tried calling your grandmother at work where she works because everyone there knew that I was expecting, and it was like any day now.
Right.
And if I remember correctly, I think it was your dad that went to call, and the woman that answered the phone was like, "You're kidding me. He's already gone for the day."
Oh, that's funny. So you're, like, trying to
And
track down grandma.
this was before cell phones.
I know. What such a convenience I take for granted.
Right, right. And we finally, I think your dad left maybe a voicemail. Maybe I even talked to her and told her, "Hey, it's a boy."
Right.
And literally an hour later, she's your grandfather and her were at the door with happy birthday balloons.
I love that. Oh my God, that's so adorable. I love that.
And my first reaction was, "Are the balloons for me or
Right,
for the
right,
baby?"
right, because I was born a day before your birthday.
Right,
Right, right.
right. And that's and I remember your dad being a wise ass said that it was either to the nurse or to the doctor. "Oh, her birthday is tomorrow. We can prolong this, can't we?" Uh, no.
No, hell no.
No.
Get this thing out of me.
Yeah.
Ah. Exorcist until it's over at least, right?
Right. Right.
Grandma, it's funny you said that because grandma was just telling me the story today.
Mhm.
When she's like, because birthday's tomorrow, right? Grandma goes, "Oh, I can't believe 31 years old. Oh, sweetie. When you were born, grandpa goes to the hospital. He sees you in the room
Oh,
naked. And
yeah.
he goes to the doctor. Why is my grandson naked? It's cold. Put some clothes on him. He's naked. And Grandpa's biggest concern was the fact that I
True.
was the naked baby in the incubator or whatever.
Yeah. True story. True story. True
I
story.
was
You
like,
were only a couple hours old. I
yeah.
guess they were trying to clean you up or change a diaper. I don't know. But you were in the nursery and they had you in the bassinet. And of course, yeah, you were naked and you're screaming and yelling. Your grandfather was not going to have any of that.
Oh my God, so funny. Oh,
Yeah. He was very proud of you for sure.
man. I really wish he was around to see Ashton only because I feel like I would die to see those two interact with one another. I was glad I got to see him interact with Gabe, right? Because it gives us like some
Yeah.
kind of idea. But
Yep.
man, he and Gabe took together so freaking
They
well.
were tight.
Yeah, I know.
Tight.
It was like Grandpa retired, and then he had it was like what, like 2 weeks, and then Gabe was born, and then he was taking care of Gabe,
No, I
watching
think your
Gabe
grandfather retired. He was retired for about a year and a half, I
about a
think,
year.
before
And
Gabe was.
everybody discredited him. I will give him everybody was like, "Oh, Grandma, are you gonna go over and make sure he gives him lunch and he doesn't forgive to give him his bottle?" And yada. And Grandpa was like regimented on it.
I'm on it. I'm
Yeah,
on
yeah, that was impressive to see. They
it.
were
And if
really,
he cries, just give him some bread with butter.
yeah, yeah. That explains why Gabe only eats bread most of the time.
God love Gabe. He's
I feel
awesome.
like I asked you probably 4 in a row, so fire one off to me.
Okay. What do you like most about doing your I hope I say this right. Muay Thai?
Yeah, Muay Thai. Yeah.
What do you like most about it?
What I like about it is that it's hard. That
Hmm.
with like every time that I'm there, I'm learning something new, and it feels like ever since I started training, I my self confidence improved. Like I was not the most confident kid growing up for sure, right? Like it wasn't
Right.
like not like I don't have a good word for it, but I just didn't. I was never really like comfortable in my own skin. But I think a
Yes.
lot of times that's growing pains as a teenager, right?
Right.
And I liked being around all of these really cool people that were interested in Muay Thai, and I love that it was hard and it was like something else that was pushing me because like after high school was when I signed up, and I went to college for 2 years.
Yep.
And that was like okay push, but I don't know. It was just there's something about the fact that it was like mentally engaging. Like I had to like really think hard about things, like position your footwork, your
Mhm.
form, and but also like it was a great workout. Like every time I
Right.
left, I felt exhausted. But that was like why I loved basketball. That was why I loved sports in general when I was
Right.
younger, right? You were taking me to basketball
Yeah.
things all the time, but I like basketball because it was like you really had to think about stuff and you really
Yeah.
had to it was just like a good workout. So, I don't know, I just felt like it was a good way to stay in shape, and also,
It was
I
pretty
don't know,
regimented.
yeah, and it was like there was like a routine to it,
Yeah.
you know? I think that's
Hmm.
why I took to basketball so much. It was like every Tuesday night, mom was bringing me to basketball from 5
Hmm.
to 6:30 or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And I don't know, like I really took the tie because like I wanted an excuse to hang out with Mike and Eric more. Like I love those dudes to pieces, and it was like part of me was like, oh cool, I get to hang out with them even more. That's cool. And then it
Right.
totally unexpectedly turned into be like one of my favorite things that I love to do.
Right.
One of like my favorite hobbies and passions. I don't know, just and now that I'm teaching and coaching, it's a whole nother level of like fulfillment and enjoyment. Is now I get to like watch other people grow in a sport that I have
Hmm.
grown to love so much over.
Hmm.
Jeez. 2009 was when I started, so since
I think so.
2009. Yeah,
Yeah.
so it's really cool to see other people just grow in the sport. It's very rewarding.
Now I like to. I see that you like to do a lot of teaching
Yeah.
because I see that a lot in your videos that you're teaching Muay Thai, or just recently you. If I if I remember correctly, you were teaching a class on how to use Instagram
Yep.
for
Yeah, so I did,
however.
so 3 different offices. So I basically, this all started when I got to my ITI certificate, which is
Mhm,
Instructor Training Institute, which is like a fancy class in real estate that just shows you, hey, this is
mhm,
how you should teach, this is how you should conduct a classroom. And I've already was teaching before, so I was like, that's kind of it's like a no-brainer. So then
mhm,
when I completed the course, my manager was like, well, if you want practice, what's something that you know front and back. And I was like, I have no Instagram. At least I can teach people that.
mhm.
She goes, great. Why don't you build a class, an hour-long class, and go teach that to our office, and we'll see if we can get some people. So I taught my first class in the Liverpool office, and then it went so well that the Ithaca manager called
Mhm.
me, and she was like, "Hey, I heard you were teaching Instagram class. Are you going to come to my office and teach that for me, or for my agents?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure, why not?" I haven't checked out the Ithaca office, and I know a lot of great agents there. I love the agents that work there. So I did that, and then most recently I went to Manlius, uh,
Mhm.
and did one for the Manlius office. But I haven't told you this yet, Mom. And I guess by the time that this airs, this will already have happened. And I
Ooh.
just took an opportunity to teach at the NYSAR, which is the New York State Association of Realtors, that
Oh,
is going to be held in Saratoga Springs. They're doing like a conference, and
okay.
um, they had somebody who was going to do an hour and a half long panel for cybersecurity, something about cybersecurity and
Mhm.
real estate, how to protect your transactions. Well, he bailed last minute, so I'm going to be his replacement,
Oh,
teaching Instagram to these agents at like this state realtor convention. So
wow.
it was really weird because Shauna, who is the manliest manager, really involved in NISAR, she called me and told me that this opportunity came up. She's like, "You're the first person I thought of. I thought you'd be great for it." And I was like hesitating, and I was like, I don't know if I want. That sounds like a lot, and I don't know if I'm ready." And I shit you not, as I was like double thinking it,
Mhm.
uh, Kevin, my teacher at Taikai,
Yes.
he was calling me at the same time. And I don't know, maybe it was just me looking for a reason to say yes, but it seems so serendipitous because I know if I had told Kevin about this and I
Mhm.
didn't take it, he would have kicked my ass. He would have been like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "You would have done like I could already hear him in my head. You know what
He
I
was
mean?
already picking at you. Yep.
Right. So I was like, okay, maybe I should just say yes and then see what happens. So that's gonna be this Sunday. This Sunday coming up.
Really?
Um, Hold on. It's the second, which is yeah, this Sunday coming up. So this
Wow.
Sunday, I have a I'm presenting to uh my contact at NISAR who's like setting up the room and making sure I have stuff.
Mhm.
Um, he said expect anywhere from 80 to 100 people in this classroom, which is the
Whoa.
largest I've ever taught to, which is already making my armpits sweat right now.
You're
But
gonna be fine.
yeah,
You're
like
gonna do well.
yeah, Instagram. I know Instagram. I'm comfortable with it. Just like the thought of all the people makes me super nervous.
Right.
But I to go back to like what you're saying with teaching, it's always something that I really enjoy because I like helping people grow in things that they're like legitimately interested in. And it's
Right.
also really satisfying to see like one of the guys in my class, Will, he's like this 19-year-old kid. When he came to us, he was like very frat boy, kind of like, yeah, I want to fight, dude. Like very like
Yeah.
kind of, I don't know. I'll say douchey. I love you, Will, if you're listening, but kind of douchey. But now his technique and his form is so good. He's just like he's really changed in like
Yep.
in all the positive good ways, and I love seeing people progress in that way. So I don't know, maybe it's just self gratifying to watch people learn
Mhm.
stuff. I don't know, I just find it really cool, very fulfilling, you know?
Right.
Very fulfilling. What is your biggest success?
My kids.
I
That
had
they're
a feeling that was gonna be the answer.
no, my kids. Look at you guys. You're doing great as adults, doing your own thing. You got a great job. You're
Both
doing
parents
well.
now.
You're a dad
Anna
now.
with
Yeah.
Anna's her own little mom now. I love seeing that.
Anna's doing, I mean, even before Oliver came along. Oh my gosh, she's busted her tuchus at a job overtime, right?
Yep.
To get a house.
That immigrant mentality again coming through.
Exactly. You work hard. This is what you can achieve, right?
Mm-hmm. Anna,
And
I'll say Anna's the most unsuspecting. Like
yeah.
you wouldn't think that of Anna, but she's a
Mhm.
workhorse.
Yeah.
She's a workhorse. She's like, you know who she's got the work ethic like Grandma Gomes. Like it's unsuspecting, but when you
Mhm.
talk to Grandma, Grandma was like worked at one company 30 years, worked overtime all the time, any opportunity she could to make a little extra cash, she was doing it. So it's like all the same qualities of them, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. And now look at her. She's got another doing another job at
Mhm.
another place, doing really well. Has a
Yep, and they love her
house.
there too. Chris
Yep.
is her boss, and he's got nothing but awesome stuff to say about Anna. They all
Oh,
love her
good.
there.
Good. Good. And now she's a mom.
What qualities do you think that we got from you?
The work ethic, I think it's almost like in your genes.
Hmm.
You know what I
Yep.
mean?
Yep.
I think that's what,
Harping
huh?
on all those things we were saying before.
Work
We get it
hard.
from that Portuguese side.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's what you guys get from me. Just keep working, just keep busting your butt. Get things paid, get things done. You gotta do what you need to do, right? I got a question for you.
Yeah.
What do you enjoy the most about being a father? And you're a young father, and I'm sure there's going to be a lot of things in the future for you that you're going to enjoy. But right now, what do you enjoy? What do you like? What
The
has Ashton taught you?
he has taught me a lot more than you would think a
Mm-hmm.
2-year-old can teach someone. Just like my level of patience, and I mean that in a very serious way because I'm a very like I not to toot my own horn, but I'm very like it takes a lot for me to get upset, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
he really helps me guide and like really grow my patience even more, right? Like you really like you think you have to be patient in retail with the Karen that's screaming at you about a $5 coupon. Like you really have to be patient with a kid who's trying to understand their emotions. And I
Mm-hmm.
think he really teaches me that, but also like how to love somebody like unconditionally. Like he loves Brittany and me and Grandma Bella and Nana D. Like those people just get him excited. And
Mm-hmm.
when I say genuinely love, it's probably subconscious, right? Because it's like the more you learn about somebody, maybe from like their personality or political views
Mm-hmm.
or just personality, like it can be
Yep.
totally hard to love somebody wholeheartedly, right? But he doesn't care like if you're a Republican or Democrat or
Yeah.
if
He just
you
wants you to play with him in
right,
his truck.
right, exactly. And it's like he also finds so much enjoyment in like little simple things. Like the
Yep.
littlest things that
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of like a reminder for me also to enjoy like the little things and not try to like rush things.
Yep.
I don't know. Can I turn the question back on you? Because that's a really good question. As now being like a parent of 31 years,
Mm-hmm.
little bit longer perception.
What I like about it, watching you guys grow from seeing you in diapers, going to schools, elementary, junior, high school, college, just watching that progression as you guys navigate through life because everyone's different,
Right.
right? I think the best thing to see.
Do you think that's like the most rewarding thing about having kids
Yeah.
too?
Oh
Just
yeah,
seeing like that progression.
absolutely. Like when you first told me like you were going to go into real estate, I'm like, oh boy. But then again, I'm thinking to myself too, as a kid, when you were in retail, I always thought to myself, this kid can sell freaking ice to an Eskimo. Okay. He's like a natural salesman.
But I also like try not to be that because when people say salesman, they're like, oh God, car
Oh, I know
salesman,
the
oh
car salesman.
brother, right? Like, hey, what do I gotta do? Slaps the hood of the car to get you in this Honda Civic, buddy. Like,
Right.
I wanted to be like myself, and like sales
Mhm.
and retail was very different than it is in real estate. It's
Mhm.
it's like a shorter relationship in retail.
Mhm.
Like I would see
Right.
somebody for like 10 minutes. How big's your yard? Oh, you got an acre? Yeah, you probably want a zero turn. Here you go. See you later. Bye. I never see that person again. Where
Right.
like I have like a book of clients now that I've built up that
Good.
I'm like check like how's your kid? Like I see you're pregnant now. Like that's awesome. I see you guys are getting married. That's awesome.
Right.
Like being a little bit more connected to those people is really nice. And also too like a lot of them are my friends, like people that I grew up with or
Yeah.
people that I like genuinely care about. Like I think one of my favorite real estate moments was helping Mike get a house because that was like
Right.
he's my brother. It was so cool, and Anna too, right? Like getting those two
Yeah.
into a house was
Right.
really cool because I got to be a part of. It's a big moment to buy a house. It's not
So you've been in real estate now, what, 4 or 5 years?
4.5 years. Yeah, it'll be 5 in May. Can you believe that?
So what turned you on to it?
Um, one really bad day in retail. Like what? Like there was like a last
Yeah, one
straw.
Karen, right?
Yeah, no, and it wasn't even like a customer. It was just like trying to figure out a way to say it wasn't really to do with the customers. It was more to do with me not getting a store when I was specifically told I was not. And then on the
Mhm.
drive home, I was like, man, F this place. This place is shit. I can't believe they did that to me. And then I'm like, okay, hold on, rewind the tape. Because like is this the direction I want to go? Like is retail the direction I
Mhm.
want to go the rest of my life? Because of the time I was 26, right when that happened. Yeah, so if it was I'm 30 now, so 20 I'll be 31 yeah, so 26. I was like I'm
Mhm.
still young and I never did any other career path other than retail. So I was
Right.
good at it and I stayed in it because I was comfortable. I never was like outside my boundaries. So it was like
Mhm.
do I want to keep running this rat race that is retail or do I want to switch careers? Because it's like if now is the time to switch careers, I should do it now before Brittany and I get settled, and then it just will
Right.
never happen again.
Right.
Right. So that for me, it was like that was the pivotal moment that it was like, all right, I got to do something different. Right. So I got home and I'm like, I know I want to do something different, but I just don't know like what I want to do. And
Mhm.
Brittany was like, write down like a few things that you want out of your next job, which was like a little bit more flexibility. Kind of want to be I like the idea of being my own boss, handle my own schedule.
Yep.
And I was either going to do real estate, become a barber, or run my own business. That was like my three that I had. And run my own business was going to be something like either in the martial arts world where it'd been like fight gear or like boxing gloves or something I
Right.
could have done in that field full time.
Mhm.
But I took a dive into real estate, honestly, because dad forced my hand. Not like told me you have to do it or else, but like I
Mhm.
mentioned it to dad that I wanted to get out of retail because I was like, I just don't like it
Mhm.
and I don't know what I want to do. And dad's like, well, what are you thinking? And I was like, Brittany and I tossed around real estate. We even talked about, learning to cut hair, being a barber. And he was like, huh, okay. And that was like October, November, or some shit. And then for
Mhm.
Christmas, he was like, "Hey, Merry Christmas! I bought you the New York State course for real estate. And I was like, oh Jesus, that's like a couple $100. I guess I'm gonna do it now. And then it's just completely steamrolled in one thing after another.
Well, good.
But that was really how I got into real estate, was just from just one bad day at retail saying I needed to get the hell out of there. And then dad
Right.
being a sweetie and forcing him passively aggressively forcing my hand.
He hands you the check. Go do
Yeah,
it.
right. Yeah, right, pretty much. Yeah, pretty much. But that was like I think that was the kick in the ass that I needed. Because honestly, if dad didn't, I don't know. Who knows if I would have pursued any three of those options. Maybe I just would have been
Right.
like, I'll stay in retail. They'll give me a store soon. But then it's like, do I want to be in retail? Do I want to work every single holiday? Every single holiday
Right.
I work. Do I want to work nights all the time? Like I don't like I don't know. I just didn't want to do it anymore. I was tired of it, you know?
Yeah.
And it just took me, I think it just took me way too long to realize that. In hindsight, I wish I got into real estate when I was like 18. I wish that's what I did after high school,
Mhm.
was get into it sooner.
Right. Right.
But hindsight's always 2020, right?
Yep. But you're doing good now. Now look at you.
It's a fun gig, and it's also I've said this 1,000 times, but it fills my cup as well as fills somebody else's, because I really feel like at the end of the day, when Mike closed on a house, Anna closed on her house, it's like you feel good about what you did that day. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
you help them navigate the waters, the choppy waters that is real
You
estate.
help them
But
get to that one spot to call home.
right, exactly. And that's, to me, was gratifying in more ways than one. Maybe that was just a little less, more gratifying than being like, hey, here's a lawnmower. See you later. You know? I'm out of questions.
I got one.
Let's hear it.
Is there a lesson that I taught you that you still use today?
I feel like the hard work is the easy apple on the tree.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want, and I'm not going to say that. So I am going to say I think you and Anna taught us about really kind of giving a shit about what you do.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like really caring about what you do. Yeah. And I think like dad taught us like it's okay to be yourself and be goofy and like enjoy it while like, cuz dad has always been himself. He's always just been a goofy hilarious man. So it
That's
like
where
I
you get
think
it
like
from.
it was a good yin and yang that you taught us, the two of you, you know what I
Mhm.
mean? Mom, I don't know if I have any more questions for you.
Let me see. What do
Do you have
I
any other ones?
Pretty random ones. What sports do you like to participate in? I know you already do soccer. Used to do soccer a long time ago.
Yeah. Yeah, now it's a lot of combat sports like
Mm-hmm.
MMA and boxing and Muay Thai, and I think the key word in this question is participate. If
Yeah.
someone messaged me right now and said they wanted to play basketball, I would for sure be in all about it, even though I haven't played in forever. But lately, would you count disc golf as a
There you
sport?
go.
Yeah, I've been playing. I think that's probably like the newer sport I've been playing the past, I don't know, like 5 years. I've been playing with Mike and Eric, not very well or very often. Maybe
Yeah.
like this
There's
year, I think I
tons
got
of
out. Like,
parks around here that have those nets for your
they're
disc
cool.
golf.
Yeah, we have right on the corner from us, Mom. Clay Park
Mhm. Yeah.
has two 18-hole courses. It's not just one, two of them, and
Wow.
they're awesome. It's a good time. And it's just, I don't know. I think that would be the one sport that I enjoy to participate in, other than the
Okay.
obvious martial arts.
Awesome. That's all I got, darling.
Damn, see, you were worried you weren't going to have anything to talk about, and it's already been an hour and almost 10 minutes.
Yeah. Quite the
Goes by,
chatterbugs, aren't we?
it goes by quick, huh?
Yes.
I think that's also what we got from Grandma, because Grandma never shuts up. She jokes about it. Like when we went to our trip to Massachusetts, she was like, "Oh, you're never gonna hear me stop talking." I was like, "I don't care. You make time
Well,
go
she
by
kept
quicker."
going, didn't she?
You know? I was like, "Oh wow, we're already in Massachusetts. All right, cool. Already in Massachusetts, huh?"
Yeah,
Well,
she's quite chatty. She's quiet, but once she gets to know you or what, that's it. Ba, da, da, da,
oh
da,
yeah,
da, 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 da,
oh yeah.
all the time.
Yep, I would argue that's probably my favorite thing about Grandma.
Uh-huh.
is how long
Yeah.
she could hold a conversation for. Well, Mom,
And
thanks for doing this. I really
oh,
appreciate your time.
absolutely. I hope
You're a
I didn't
wonderful
bore
human being, and
anybody to death.
thanks for everything you've done for Anna and I growing up.
Hey,
You you
I'm
guys
a
busted
mom.
your ass to give us everything you guys could, and we love you for it.
We tried.
Yeah, you guys definitely gave it your all. You guys set the bar high for being good parents. You guys set the bar high. I feel like before we all say one last thing, I feel like Anna and I got very lucky because some people didn't got a really shitty draw of cards with their parents, and Anna and I got very lucky that we got two really loving parents that give a shit about us. So thanks
Oh,
for always
that's
giving
good
a
to
shit
hear.
about us. What's
I
that?
like that's always good to hear.
Well, you read the
That's
news on
cool.
some parents doing terrible things to your kids,
Oh, yeah.
and the first thing
That's
I
awful.
think to myself is, thank God mom brought me every Tuesday to Bear Road basketball and didn't leave me locked into her car in a 95-degree day. Thank God dad played Age of Empire computer games together with me and
Yeah,
didn't leave me locked up in a basement to starve. So I'm thankful for
or
everything that
change
you
your
guys
bed,
did.
right? Oh my gosh.
Well, thanks,
Oh,
Mom. I
yeah.
appreciate you.
Oh, I love you, darling.
Love
We
you too,
should do
Mom.
this again soon.
Yep. Another 10 question fast rounder.
Oh boy. I have to bring out the wine for that.
Yeah, that's right. Well, thanks, Mom. I appreciate you and love you.
I love you too. Give Ashton a big hug for me and tell Brittany I said hi.
Thank you so much for watching this episode of the Cory Cast. I really appreciate the time that you spent listening and even listening to the full episode to get you to this point. I just want to say I'm just so appreciative and so thankful that I have so much love and support for these episodes. If you want to be a guest on this podcast, reach out to me. I'm always looking for new people. Let's talk about what you're passionate about. Let's talk about your hobbies. Let's give you a positive platform to talk about the things that matter to you. Do me a favor, make sure you hit subscribe, like, follow, leave a review of the podcast. All those little things will help this podcast grow. Because without you guys, there is no podcast. And I am just so grateful that you're taking the time to listen to it today. Thank you so much.